I came from like a really, I mean, all right. I came from quite wealthy parents. I mean, they weren't wealthy themselves, but they obviously amassed their own fortune, right? So I live very comfortably. I'm not embarrassed to say that I was somewhat spoiled, by my parents, and I still am. But I guess that led me to live like a comfortable life. Um, but then I guess just whether you're rich or whether you're poor, there's happiness is not judged by money. Like last year, I mean, for me personally, everything was going so smooth, and then suddenly, my parents, we sold Nando's, business for 18 years, and then I actually came out of a long-term relationship, ended really badly, but it's in the past now. Yeah. And in that position, I remember I used to just sit in my chair, stare at the paint on my wall, and be like, "What the f is happening with my life?" Right? I wasn't myself, and then I was like, this isn't Julian. Like fuck. I like to smile, but I wasn't smiling at all, and I thought, well, honestly, it felt like the world slapped me in the face, man. It was like a big the world knocked on my door and says, "Jules, man, this is real life." And that's when I realized, I can't keep carrying on like this. I want to be the master of my own destiny. I can't keep dreaming. I got to start doing, right? Which is the reason why I'm so fortunate to have Nick, so fortunate to have Nathan, who share the same vision as me, the same as you. Like, I feel like through all that crap that's happened to me in my life, without it, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, you know? So I want to ask you, has the world ever knocked on your door and slapped you in the face? Yeah. And, or were you just born with the desire to be an entrepreneur or to be an influencer?
Yeah. First of all, that was a lovely speech that you just
pumped out
just there. Like, that was beautiful. I think that's definitely one of the clips that you can
hope you're not just trying to be nice.
Nah. But yeah, like, you're right. I think it does definitely take life to slap you in the face. The down times for us to get our shit together to go for the good. And yeah, definitely with my life, just to touch on it a little bit, like, it was very rough. Typical parent story where they broke up when I was young. Then living with my dad, and he was just the typical tough, really tough, constantly picking on my mental side. Just nothing was ever good enough, and every single day, I say he didn't do this to me, he did it for me. And even though I don't agree with the way he goes about his life and how he treats other people, but in a way it pushed me to my absolute mental limits. So now anything I tackle in life, it's nothing compared to what has happened to me in the past. So just living with my father and trying to work at Nando's, just a few shifts here and there, I then realized, like, what, my own father, he's picking on me. All right, I'm saying he was doing it for me, actually, being positive here. But that made me realize, I can't rely on anybody. I need to get my shit together, take Nando's seriously, start making a bit of income, and build myself up. So, it's only me, and I don't have to rely on anybody. And so as soon as that happened, we had a big fight one day, turned into like one of the first physical alterations. I jumped the fence, I ran, I left. I was about 20 at this stage, maybe about 19, 20. And straight away, sleeping at my friend's house, it's just so uncomfortable, I literally have nothing to my name, and I'm in my mate's house, on his couch. And I just felt ashamed of myself. Like, I literally got no home. And, I thought, fuck, I gotta make my own home now. I gotta start. So straight away, hit the laptop. Where is the cheapest rent I can find in Melbourne, which is not all the way in Whoop Whoop in the country? And then through a bit of hard work, I found some really cheap rent, $100 a week, including bills. Like, that's pretty much unheard of in Melbourne. And from there, I worked as hard as I possibly could at Nando's. Why? Because the harder you work, you're going to get noticed, then you get more shifts, you make more money. And the more money I had means I could buy food. I could then buy my mattress on the floor. Slowly but surely, I could furnish my place that I was staying at. And it was just that upbringing and that, constantly mentally picking on me that made me realize, like, I have to be self-reliant. And ever since that day, you know, that I finally left, finally grew some balls and took life into my own hands, it's just been like so much better. And yeah, like I see a lot of people out there and they're not happy with their relationship at home, and you try your best to fix it, but if not, like I recommend just leaving. Like it's actually better to use a step back, so you actually have a, you know, clarity of thought, and you can actually do something. And then people will say, oh, but I'm saving the money, and they try to justify it, but it's not really worth it, you know. It's your mental health is so important. So it's better, forget about the money, forget how much you're gonna save, just leave. It's gonna be like much better for yourself.
Like I always say, man, it's always best to stick with your gut, you know. Only you can assess a situation from your point of view. You shouldn't really, if someone says, oh, you know, have you got someone in your life that's a bit abusive or is not helping you reach where you want to go, and you don't know what to do, it's best to stick with your gut.